live. We got you set up on the trash can right now. We are currently located in no other than a Cracker Barrel parking lot.
Our favorite.
We just made it to Omaha, Nebraska, so that's just the border of Iowa and Nebraska. And yeah, so we're pretty excited. It's kind of hot over here. It's about 80 degrees. We're in the van, in a parking lot.
Sweating.
And yeah, so we're pumped to have you guys here. We want to talk about where we're going next, where we are. So yeah, as you can tell, we are on the road. We went from Michigan and we're going to Colorado. That is the goal.
Yep.
And we're just taking our time. I mean, we drove pretty far today. We probably did like 7 hours.
Yeah, 7 hours.
So we're trying to, 7 hours I get kind of antsy after 2 hours, to be honest. So, but we've been putting on the podcast, things like that. And in the future, where we're heading is Colorado, and we want to go further than that. But we will do, looking forward to seeing what you guys in the comments. Let me see what we got here. We got a few, I don't even know. This is the first time doing a live, so I'm not really sure how to.
Bear with us. Oh, there it is.
There we go.
Hey, Emmett.
You can ask your question anytime you want to. Ask your question anytime. We'll just talk about briefly where we were in the last couple of weeks. We finished up our East Coast road trip, and it was a blast. We definitely learned a lot. And I would say overall, maybe the East Coast is a little bit tough in the type of van that we have.
Yeah.
It's just not as much nature, and so we did have a lot of Cracker Barrels, which is where we're at right now. And that definitely was interesting. So, but we really loved a few spots like North Carolina. We spent a lot of time there, as you saw in the OBX video. That was an interesting and fun adventure. Finally got to take Tina on something that tested her out a little bit.
Yeah, we love the Blue Ridge Parkway too. That was kind of our first mountainous area, and that's really kind of what we like and what we want to go see. So that's why we're really excited to be out west.
Definitely. So also Maine was a great time. We really loved staying in Maine. Once we slowed down a little bit, I think it was great. But we went home, we went to Michigan, and we had a blast. We had 2 weddings, our close friends. Yeah. Kristen and Doug was our first wedding, and then the second wedding was our buddy Mo. It was great. And in between both of those, we went up northern Michigan. If you haven't been, I'm sure a lot of people on here are probably Michiganders. So we really enjoyed that. Got to see family again, even though we weren't gone for that long.
No.
But it was a perfect stop, and now we are beginning our new chapter going west. So I guess really that can start up the questions. I mean, we didn't have too much to say. We did want to say that we will be probably changing our upload schedule a little bit. Definitely always going to keep it on Mondays, and then I think going into Thursdays, we'll probably do occasional. Probably 3 out of 4 Thursdays, but maybe not all of them. So I guess let me see what we got here as far as some questions.
Chad and Paul. Hey guys.
What's up, Chad and Paul? We got Steven in here, David Herman, Emmett. Let me see what other questions we have in here. And Mike. Okay.
All right.
The West is ready for Tina. I think Tina's ready, really ready for the West. We need to come to the Sierras. Definitely something on our list. I think that's something that we really, really want to do. We got to plan it out. So I think what we're going to do next is after Colorado, we're going to be in Colorado for a little bit. Oh, Ethan's there too. We're going to be in Colorado for a little bit, probably for about a month. And we have to come back to Michigan for some weddings again, which we're excited for. And then we'll come back to Colorado, make our way probably up through Grand Tetons, which is one of my favorites. We'll go up through Grand Tetons, Yellowstone, go up to Glacier. Hopefully that the border opens. We'd love to get in Canada and really get into, Banff, Alberta, and Jasper National Park. That'd be amazing. I mean, earlier in the year, we really wanted to get to Alaska, but I just don't think that's going to happen for us this summer, as the border is still closed. And that's something that we're going to keep an eye on. Something that we're definitely going to monitor, hopefully, but yeah, we'll be going up there, and then we're gonna, hopefully if the border opens. If the border opens, then we'll go up through Banff, and then we'll come back down to Seattle, Vancouver area, and make our way down the coast. And that's when we'll do the Oregon coast, get into California, all the parks around there, and we're super excited. And then eventually make it down to Mexico, and that's where we like to spend most of the winter in Mexico, in the warm weather, and maybe in Arizona and Southern California as well. So those are all the spots. It's kind of just our like jumble of where we want to go in our direction, and we're going to try to make that more clear as the time goes on. Well, let's see what we got, if we got any more comments in here. So here's a question from Dave. It said, from the time you purchased your Revel, how long did it take to receive? So we purchased our Revel in November, in the beginning of November, and we were calling on vans all that summer before November and trying to figure out what we really wanted. And it took, from the time of purchase when we pulled the trigger, it took about 4 months. We got it in February, but when we got the van, we were still not ready to leave. We didn't quit our jobs until April. So we had so there is some time in between there. We about 4 months, and we got actually lucky because someone canceled on their buy. So we got in, and they stepped in, and we actually got it for a decent price at the time. And at the time, the price just kept on ramping up, and we're like, let's just pull the trigger now. I was like telling Lisa that we'll wait it out until winter, because normally during the winter, RV prices go down. But of course, if any of you guys have been looking at RV prices, they're just skyrocketing. Even our van right now is probably worth more than what we bought it for.
Yeah, we got
so
lucky,
it's pretty crazy. Let me see if there's the other questions in here.
Chad and Paul asked, are you most excited for the mountains or the coast?
I'm a mountain guy.
Yeah.
What?
Well, honestly, I was coast, but ever since dating you, I've turned more into mountains, especially in the van. Sometimes the coast gets so hot. It's really nice to be in the mountains and have a coffee with the view. That's what I'm excited for.
Being in elevation, the weather I feel like is always just a little bit cooler. I like being on the cooler side. And I love hiking. We want to get out. We want to use our bikes as well. We don't have mountain bikes, but we're hoping to get our road bikes or the gravel bikes out and about soon. I know that Grand Tetons has some great trails, but yeah, something that I'm really looking forward to is, I love the Grand Tetons. I think we're going to spend at least like 3 weeks there as well. There's great camping around, and we saw a lot of free options. That's something we're looking forward to, is the BLM land, the National Forest land here on the West Coast is just so much more abundant.
Yeah.
On the East Coast, it just didn't have that option, so that's why we're in Cracker Barrels and Walmarts.
Yeah.
And so we're looking forward to that. Looking forward to taking this van and using this van in a lot of situations. So we want to show that, taking it up in the mountains, taking it off-road, and using it as much as we can.
Yeah, and on the East Coast, honestly, we got a little nervous about how little free land there was, and we wound up paying a lot just to stay. So we're excited to go out west and stay on BLM.
Awesome. And as you guys are here, smash that like button, of course. It always helps us out.
It does.
Let me look through some more questions here. As I said before, if you weren't here, I got you guys on a trash can right now, upside down with a little backer, so I'm sorry if it bumps around a little bit. I'm not trying to make you sick. So yeah, another question about taking it to Baja and going down into Mexico is, the Baja Peninsula makes us feel a little bit safer than taking it in the main part of Mexico. The Baja Peninsula has a lot of diesel stations, and that's been something that's been documented in the last few years. It seems like there's a pretty good route that we could take our van in. As far as security, I know a lot of people have done it, and I've seen other Revels been taken down there, and there are Mercedes Sprinter dealerships and mechanics down there, so I'm not too worried. Definitely, I mean, if you don't take a little bit of risk, then what are you doing? What are you doing with this van? That's how I kind of think right now, just because we could be sitting in, I mean,
my mom's on here.
We could be sitting in a parking lot or just kind of, taking it easy, but what's the point of having this van? And, we could have went with a bunch of different vans, even gone with maybe not as much of a, off-road, but that's why we went with the Mercedes, especially with the Revel coming with the off-road tires and stuff. And then, another reason why we got the Revel was it's something that we could get pretty quickly, whereas we were looking at other vans like building it, you know, Storyteller Overland or different like private vans, van builders, and it was just, people were saying a year out even, and we wanted to get on the road, and the Winnebago Revel was the fastest way for us to get on the road with a 4x4, something that was totally built out. Lisa's main concern was to have a private bathroom that shut. I mean,
blame me though? I mean, we're so close together that, you know, sometimes you just don't need to know things, and that's okay.
That was her number one thing. My thing was up off-road, being able to have a vehicle that was 4x4 off-road. So this was our compromise. It's been great so far. There are definitely things that, you know, we would, you know, that are not great, and that's something that we're going to do in a video later. You know, just for you guys that are on the live stream right now, something that has definitely been tough for me is the bed size. I mean, it's definitely different from when we were at home. We went back to our parents' houses and we slept in our comfortable beds, and we were like,
Very nice.
oh my gosh, what of a difference. And getting back in this van the last couple nights has just been adjustment again. I mean,
okay, but tell them what happened. So last night was our first night back in the van, and there's a tornado. So the van is just rocking, and it's just like pouring, and Ferris is just up all night. Me, I just sleep through anything, so I didn't know, whatever. Yeah,
well, it was like the van's blowing around, and it's like torrential downpour, and I'm like kind of freaking out, and I'm like, what, you know, what's going on? Like, can we check the weather? And of course, it's like tornado watch. But we made it through. The van's fine.
Yeah.
So, but that was just something that just like the van was shaking all night. I gotta put my earplugs in, you know, zone out and just, you know, get there. But I mean, I tend to not sleep as well. Gotta get in.
Roger, hey. Steven just asked who gets kicked in the head more. That would probably be me, just because Ferris is tossing around and just like thrashing everywhere. I'm just like a rock. I just stay.
Yeah, Lisa sleeps through anything. Like the next morning I'll be like, Lisa, did you like wake up to this? Did you hear this? There was like a trash guy coming by. There was like in Cracker Barrel, some reason at 7 a.m. on the dot every single day, the trash people, not for some reason, they obviously have a schedule. They come and do the trash, so it just wakes me up no matter what. So I tend to be an earlier riser in the van for sure. And Lisa's like, what? Didn't know anything happened.
It's a great thing, because then I get my sleep, and then you don't. But someone needs to. We took a nap early on the East Coast trip. Like, I took a couple naps, and then I got used to it a little bit. When we're in nature and we're in the same, like, you know, site for a while, I tend to get a little bit more chill. So let's see what other chats we got in here. I know I see a few. Roger, hi Roger.
Mike, if you guys need any ideas for the Sierras, let me know. I have a cabin near Big Tree State Park. Mike, we would love to talk to you about that. Definitely somewhere we want to go. And then, you know, all the help that we get on the road, the people that we meet has been amazing. Yeah. Like the apps that we did, part of the things that you should know of starting van life are some of the apps that you can use, and that's Harvest Host and Boondockers Welcome. And some of the people we've met through those has been amazing. Mm-hmm. When we were in the Adirondacks, we didn't even make a video. Sometimes we go through places and we don't even make a video because we have so many videos in the queue. But we were there, and we spent some time with people in Boondockers Welcome, and they invited us into their home. We had a few beers with them. They had beers on tap. I mean, yeah, it was awesome. You know, to our mothers, they may think that we're like, we shouldn't be doing those things, but it's an app that has a lot of reviews on there. We felt comfortable. It's other RVers. People are super nice, and when someone invites you for a tap on beer at their own home, like, can you really turn them down? No. And then they were great. They took us on their 4x4 all throughout their woods and the Adirondacks, and it was super awesome, and we had a really good time. So really good experience there.
We also got to go to someone's pool and hang out and have some beers by their pool. That was awesome. Definitely.
So these are all the experiences that, like, on the road has, like, given us. There's a few things that also we've happened with the van so far. So, like, in the first video you saw that, or one of the first videos you saw that the water filter, we had problems with it. Well, we finally got the water filter back together, and then after a month, it's the filtrate water system underneath the sink. And in this van, it is a piece of work to get that under there, and it really takes a long time. And it shouldn't, if you're in a regular home, it wouldn't take you very much time at all. but it took me a long time to get that together. And then after a month, we started seeing like a light leaking, and in the Revel there is a pump, and you can kind of hear it pumping, so you know there's a leak too. But then I also saw that there was some water underneath there, and it just, all that's holding it there is screws up into the system that the water filter does, and it just wasn't holding. So we took that out, we plugged that, or we put it back to how it was normally, and right now we're going with a new system. We're trying to figure out a new system. We've been just kind of doing water jugs at the moment and just filling it up. And I mean, people do that, but as us being full-time, we want to have something that we can use. We have a 20-gallon fresh water tank, so
yeah. It's hard because like back here where we're sitting, that's my workspace, and honestly it's just like a short little tunnelway. So when you add water jugs, I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it takes up a quarter of my workspace. So we gotta figure that one out. Well, we got the other water filter, so we should be good.
Definitely. I mean, there's so many modifications you can do with this van. We were just actually talking with, if Chet and Paul are still on here, we were talking with those guys about like how many things that you can put on this van. It's quite incredible. I mean, you could spend so much money, but we honestly just want to take out, we've pretty much done what we want. There's a few things maybe on our mind, but we really want to just test really the stock Revel and test it out and see what it's like, and, you know, give the other Revelers some feedback. But yeah, so that's been really how we've kind of seen this van. I mean, there's all kinds of different things that we've bought in tiny little knickknacks, and those are videos that we really want to put out too. And we kind of just did a 10 essential items that we have, but there was so many. We had like 20, 30 so items, and we just kind of narrowed it down to those.
Yeah. So there's a question about short-term and long-term plan. So I guess we should kind of start from the beginning. So Ferris and I have always wanted to go travel full time, and we've talked about it for like 5 years, and we're both really conservative, and obviously it's a big deal to quit your job and move into a van and everything. So we said our cutoff was age 27, so that's kind of why we finally made the move at age 27. We saved up, we were ready.
We kind of stumbled into van life. I mean,
yeah.
we wanted to travel. Travel is the most important thing to us. We've been doing international trips for the past 4 or 5 years, and it's something that we enjoy. I mean, we really made our lives around that, trying to find as much vacation time that we could put together and put a trip together with our friends. And once COVID hit and stuff, there was just obviously a lot of things changed, and we were just like, what can we do in the meantime? And we hit 27. We saved up more. We saved up more than what we thought we needed to start our travel life and, you know, start our business, which is, you know, first growing our YouTube channel and starting our travel business. And those are the things that we really haven't voiced out to a lot of people, but we're working on that in the background. And then we kind of stumbled into van life. I mean, we looked at it, we were looking at it, contemplating what we wanted to do. And once we kind of narrowed it down and thought like, we want to do this now, this was our option.
Yeah.
And so for the long term, I mean, we plan on being in the van for, you know, definitely at least a couple of years. We don't know how long that's actually gonna be. We could be van lifers for a long time. Who knows? I mean, we want to maybe potentially ship the van over to Europe, take it to South America. We want to do a lot of things. This van in particular, though, I mean, it's a little bit harder. It's just a little bit different than some of the other vans. Maybe sell this van, buy a van in Europe. There's a lot of things that we got to figure out, but we would love to have a van in Europe. That's something that we would love to talk to someone about, and figure out more and how we can do that. And we've seen that there are people that have done it, even a couple of people that have written blogs on it. So that's something that excites us.
Yeah.
Again, you know, Alaska's still on our list, so if we can do that next summer, that would be amazing. We'd want to spend the whole summer there. That'd be something that we'd really want to do.
We're supposed to be in Alaska right now, but the border, they just won't open. But crossing our fingers. Our original goal was to take it from the southernmost point, which is Key West, which we already did, all the way to Alaska. But hopefully we'll get there maybe next year. It doesn't look too hot right now. So
Roger asked best sushi. We haven't discovered any sushi so far. The best sushi is in our hometown, or in Clawson, Michigan.
Roger showed me Noble Fish.
Okay, so that's the best sushi that we've ever had. I mean, there's a few places that are on the West Coast that I've been before and that are amazing, but Noble Fish in Clawson, Michigan, that's amazing. You can't really beat that. If you're in Michigan, you gotta try it. Alaska, yeah, Alaska is awesome. We want to go to Denali. There's so many other parks there. That's something that we're interested in and planning. Right now, we're still figuring out Colorado. My cousin lives in Colorado in Carbondale, so we'd love to meet up with her. We got the next video is going to be kind of our journey going to Colorado, and we'll be in Rocky Mountain National Park for 3 days, and there's a few hikes that we want to do there. One of the hikes being Long's Peak, if any of you guys have heard of it. It's can be a pretty intense hike, but we've done some pretty intense hikes before, and I think we're up to it. You got to get up at 2 a.m. to start this hike because it starts having thunderstorms up at the peak, so you got to hit there before the weather hits.
Yeah, if you guys watch our Acadia video, you know that I kind of freak out at hikes because Ferris has put me through like insane hikes, 22 miles, but it's always worth it in the end. But honestly, like, I have a heart attack before every single hike, but we make it through.
Mike asked, why are we not eating right now? I mean, that's a good question. I just had a snack. That's not enough. We had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I need to be eating more. That's something that we're gonna make sure I'm eating more. I lost 10 pounds and I ate a lot. But that's how much I eat, so much when I'm at home.
You eat so much food.
So I'm just burning calories. I mean, maybe that's lack of sleep, being on the road. We're working a lot. I mean, that's something that maybe it's hard to tell, is we are working a lot on getting our stuff settled in and started and growing this channel. And that's a lot of work hours. I mean, even though we quit our jobs, we're spending more time working and growing, but it's something that we love. So it's just and it's just our own thing. So I think that's it just pushes us. We gotta stop and settle down. And that's something that we've been trying to implement, is just trying to figure out when a good time to stop is in our routine. And
I think that was probably one of the hardest things for us on the East Coast, just that was our first trip, was, moving into a van in this small of a space is hard in general, but also quitting our jobs and learning how to work together. Ferris and I are so different work-wise. Ferris is really, really chill and he's lax, and I'm more type A, like I just go. So, figuring out the roles and like everything was kind of a struggle, but we figured it out.
So T-Wazoo said, make reservations in Rocky Mountain National Park. So actually, we were not sure if we're gonna go to Rocky Mountain. I wanted to get my brother to fly out here, and it was this whole thing. We were trying to get all that set up, and I was really, worried that we won't be able to go to Rocky Mountain National, because I love it. I've been there once before and had a great time. But we went on reservations.com, and that's where you can set up campsites within Rocky Mountain. And I just got lucky. I was checking every other day to see if there was some there, and 2 just popped up, 2 opened up. And when you have a reservation in Rocky Mountain National Park right now, you don't have to get a timestamp. So something that's new this year in Rocky Mountain National Park is when you go, you have to get a timed reservation there's 2 different ones for one road and then the other, and you have to choose when you want to go. So they're making it really, really hard to go. They have a lack of staffing and a couple other things related to COVID still. So, but when you get a camping reservation, you are allowed to go anywhere in the park. So it's pretty amazing, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be there for 3 days. Yes. Really excited to check that out. Let me see. There's a few other There's a few other chats here. Yeah, Fire Seat. So I Fly 64s, who's been great, who has actually showed us the Porta Packs, and Porta Pack reached out to us today, which was really awesome, and they want to send us a care package and do a couple things with us, which is really, really cool. So thank you for setting us up with Porta Pack.
It smells great in here, by the way.
It smells so much better. Those are where you put in your RV tank, and it smells a lot better. But yeah, smokiness as far as fires go. He was mentioning it in Alaska specifically, but even I saw a post today in Grand Tetons. It was expectations versus reality, and the expectations is clear blue sky, and the reality is right now, even in Tetons, it's just super smoky. There's a lot of fires going on, and that's, it's super sad. Unfortunately, hopefully they can get those together, put those out and get those fixed and done. It's just the fires have been crazy last year. Even my cousin that we're going to go meet, her area and the area around her was just smoky for it seemed like the whole summer. In the year prior, she actually lost her van due to a wildfire. So Hopefully we can avoid those, and actually it would be awesome if we could do anything about it, if there was any types of thing that anyone of you guys know out there that we can support.
Yeah, for sure.
Do we have any plans to upgrade for the van, or any upgrades for the van? Yes, the suspension is something that we've been looking at a lot. Right now the ride is not bad. Like, we don't really mind, but it's not like driving a car. That's definitely the thing that we've noticed. It's not, when you turn, it's bumpy. When you're leaving, it's pretty bumpy when you hit bumps, and especially when you're going off road. But when you put in the suspension upgrade, people have just said it's great. We haven't tried it out yet, so that's something that we just want to try out first before we spend a lot, because it's a lot of money, and it's not something that we feel like we need to do at the moment.
Well, and plus, okay, we're super young, and we bought this van thinking, it's the perfect van. It's got everything we need. And then Ferris just goes, yeah, we're gonna go spend $4,000 on this upgrade. I was like, not yet. So we'll work towards that one.
Stephen L. Yeah, it's definitely. So he said it's kind of a bummer that your travel log style videos don't perform as well as the van style videos.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, that's definitely tough, because like going into it, like especially what we see from our friends and family that know us, and what we want to do as well is these travel style videos. And I think we just need to incorporate the van a little bit more, so that we can have a mix of that. And that's something that we definitely will do. Right now, what works is showing these van centric videos that show people like what's the best for the van, things that they can do with the van, RV lifestyle, living in the van. And we still enjoy doing those videos, and we want to be educational. It's just definitely, we love going to the breweries, we love eating food, we love doing all these things, and we want to show these videos. They just don't perform as well. So in order to get that following, I think we'll have to keep it van centric for a little bit. And definitely, but like our OBX video and even the New York video, we made sure that we put the van in the video, and we talked about all the other things as well. So that's something that we're gonna do, and try to create our own style a little bit.
Yeah, maybe we'll do some food reviews in the back of the van. That's what I want to do.
Jacob Bird, who I know personally, misspelled my name and says, Ferris, you have something in your teeth. Oh, they're good.
I saw that. I started cracking up.
Yeah, Steven, I do agree. I hope that changes as well. I think we're gonna try and really hard to make that happen. So Saeed, what's next? What's the next stop after Colorado? Like we said, if you missed it, we're gonna try to go through, maybe a little bit of Utah. We'd love to go through Moab and Arches National Park, and make our way up into Wyoming, go to Grand Teton, spend time there, camp there. Really spend a lot of time there, because that's one of my favorite parks, and I've been there a few times. Saeed, as you know, who asked the question, we did a 40-mile Grand Teton, or the Teton Crest Trail hike, which was probably the most physically pushed I've been on a hike, but it was the most rewarding. And that was something that we really wanted to do. Got that done last year, which was awesome. And I think it has a special place. The Grand Tetons definitely has a special place in our hearts. So we'll spend some time there, and then we're gonna make our way probably up to Glacier, and then if the border's open, we'll go through to Canada.
We want to do Alberta for sure.
So our favorite, my cousin Emmett is one of our biggest fans, and he asked, what is your favorite video that you've made? I think we have different answers on this. I think, I'm proud of like some of the beginning videos. I think they've done really well, but I think the most fun style of something that we want to do in the future is like similar to OBX. So I think OBX, like as much as like it was like crazy for me, I had a really good time, and I'm proud of that video, and I thought it was a lot of fun, and I want us to be like that in the future. Maybe not as me as
Ferris was freaking
out like that, because it was the first time testing the van and taking it off road and being in that area, and so many people were getting stuck, so it just put us in this like crazy space. But that's something that I definitely want to explore, trying to make videos like that more often. Let's see, we got some more questions that are popping up. Sorry for I'm hitting this thing. Yes, so you ordered the Canyon Adventures van 6-inch memory foam mattress. Please let me know how you like that, because that's something we put a 2-inch topper, and we were contemplating if we were going to do a 3-inch in the beginning. Now we've already done the 2-inch, and we just kind of like, I don't know, we're stuck. We're like, do we just scrap this one, add a 3-inch? We know that that memory foam topper is, or that the 6-inch Canyon Adventures one is awesome. People have said really good things about it. We just don't know if we wanted to spend the money on it. That's the hard thing about being in the van. It's like, do you want to spend money on it, test it out, and then it's just really hard to return things, I feel like, when you're out and about. So it's just like,
Yeah.
what do we want to do? We want to make sure that it's great. So if you get it, please let us know.
Yeah.
It's something that I think will help me out and sleep a little bit better. And that's something that I think
That's so important.
that's really important.
But we also have to stay on budget too.
So Jacob also asked, how do you stay grounded within such a chaotic life? And I think that's something that we need to explore a little bit more. I mean, especially for me, I mean, Lisa's pretty even keel. I get a little bit anxious, and I have, definitely, I want to work and I want to push these things, and then I want to make sure things are all settled, getting where we're going. So I have all these thoughts in my head all the time. And I think, writing things down, definitely something that we do is, we try to stay active. We were just in Planet Fitness today. I know it takes time to work out. It definitely does. But mentally, I feel a lot better when I can work out. I think I'm going to really take breathing and meditation, time alone, because we're together so much. Yeah. And if we can maybe separate some things for ourselves and settle down, it will help us regroup and start our day fresh. So that's something that I think we can get help us stay grounded and even work on. It's constantly working on it. So something that has bothered us in the van so far, and something that we've liked, for me, I think it's the sleeping might be the hardest thing. And getting used to the bed size.
I think for me, it's just the space in general. I'm an introvert, so sometimes I just like to chill and relax by myself. And it's really, really hard to do that in this small of a space. And not saying anything against Ferris, it's just you sometimes need your space. So that's been the hardest thing, but I think it kind of pushes you out of your comfort zone to go outside and maybe take that walk that you wouldn't normally do or something like that.
Definitely. And then on the positive side, though, it's the community has been amazing.
Awesome.
Where we can take this van, be where we want to be, and just sit there. If we want to go somewhere else, we can stop. If we really like the place, we can stay there for a long time. If we want to leave, we can. And I think the flexibility of living in a van has been amazing. Of course, we also have great support from our family and our friends, which make this all really possible. I think mentally, for me, at least, to know that I have people that are supporting us. And then we always kind of have our parents home if we need to, or families home if we want to go back and stay there for over Christmas or whatever vacations, or when we're coming back for these weddings, because everyone our age is getting married this year, which we love it, and congratulations. And it's awesome. But it's been a horrible trip. It's been horrible for us trip planning. It's been crazy because COVID's been kicking all these weddings all around, and we just want to celebrate with everyone. So we are making those happen, and we're excited about the upcoming weddings that we have. So Patrick says, Van-centric is a good call. #van life audience are attracted to the lifestyle and want to escape into that type of content. Yeah, definitely. I think that we got to go that route, and that's something that we want to continue doing. Again, it's just what can you do where you can keep it fun, and we want to get more creative with different stuff too. And that's something that I think we're gonna push, is make sure that we keep our quality, because that's something that on the side of, before we even quit our jobs, I was doing photo and video on the side, and that's something that we're continuing to do. So we still have a couple photo video jobs that we were doing when we were home. We have people and clients that we love, food clients especially. I love food clients. And shout out Detroit 75, because there's someone that's just been with us for a long time, and we work with them every time we go home or whenever we want to do something or collab. So those have been things that we want to keep the quality up. It's something that matters to us. And I know that eventually, the YouTube algorithm will, appreciate it as well. So, and I know that the people watching it get more of a kick and like seeing it with the quality. So if we can keep that up, that's something that is definitely a goal of ours. What else?
I think that's it.
So I think that's the end. Oh no, we got. Oh, have we? Okay, so Mike asked a really good question. So have you guys had a major argument yet? We've lived together for 2 years before this. We've been together for 5 years, and we do really, really well together.
Yeah.
Like, we even lived with her parents for 10 months, and that was hard for me to adjust to, and we did really, really well together.
Yeah.
Living in the van has been a whole nother trip for us, and like, just trying to figure out
like what each other needs.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know for sure I've been on edge at times. Just and that whole the whole East Coast trip was just us figuring out how we want to live.
Yeah.
And this is something that we definitely want to do a video on, because it's not all like glamorous for sure. It's definitely not at all. It's just another lifestyle. That's it. I mean, it's the lifestyle that we wanted to try out, and we are living out. And I'm still so happy, because when I look back and I'm not in my cubicle, and I'm not working for another company, which we still had great experience doing that. And I think COVID just made it like push us overboard. It's gotten us, it's still backtracking. It has been chaotic to like try to figure out a routine, which is,
yeah, it's hard for both of us. And I'd say like we each need different things. So like Ferris, for example, needs 8 hours of sleep and also needs a lot of food and does not do well in hot weather. So like that 3 combined, it's like not like you're just not on your prime, and that's okay. No. And for me, like I'm a person that just needs like sometimes my personal space, and you get absolutely 0 in the van. So like combine that together. So to answer your question, did we have a major argument? Yes, we did.
Yes. Long story short, we've had a few arguments. But like the main thing that we try to like at the end is just, what are our core values? What are we like? What is our idea of like what do we want to do in the van? What our relationship is? How we can be better in the future and avoid those things.
Yeah.
And those are all things that we've been like working on. And I mean, if anything, it's tested us beyond measure. So like if you already are tested within your relationship, I mean, it might be difficult for you. I mean, I don't know. It might be really hard for you if you haven't. And other people might be easier. I don't know. For us, it's definitely been a switch. But I mean, we're still together and we're still doing strong. And
I still love him.
So thank you, Mike, for that question.
I think that's probably the most asked question I think I've gotten, probably from a girl's side.
Especially at home. I mean, everyone's asking us like, yeah, how are you doing? Like, especially obviously like a lot of money questions as well, which I think eventually one of our videos coming up is going to be really talking about how we afforded the van, our budget, things like that. We really want to talk about finances, be transparent with everyone, and things that we really, I think, will be beneficial for other people. Sometimes it's hard to talk about money, and it's hard to talk about like how much you save, but in reality, this is what we did, and this is what we're doing. So we just kind of want to be transparent with it.
It's kind of weird at this age, like putting out, oh, I made this much money and this is how much I save. It makes us like feel like kind of weird, but at the same time, I know people are watching this video to try and maybe do the same thing. So in the end, I think it's just us, being transparent and kind of putting it out there. And
definitely, I mean, we worked for this. We set ourselves up, and it was a goal we had for so long. It's not just an overnight thing, and that's, I think, what people need to understand maybe a little bit more. But I see 16 people on here still. Give that thumbs up. We're at 9. Let's get us to 10.
Also, I want to know, what do you guys want to see in our next video? We've been, brainstorming on this 20-hour drive. We've been brainstorming all these different video ideas. We have budget, how we afforded, van life, relationships. What else do you guys want to see?
We'd love to hear from you. If you can drop a comment. Oh, we're up to 12 likes now.
Woo,
let's go,
guys.
fam. So yeah, that's something. If you could drop a comment, we'd be really interested to see what other content, like you guys, more van stuff, definitely. Okay. We'll be keeping more van stuff. Anything else that you've seen from our videos that you really liked that we can like build on, would be any feedback. How can your fan base best support you? Right now, honestly, just by watching our videos, giving us a thumbs up, telling other people, the word of mouth, just being around, giving comments, being a part of this community, that really, really helps. And the other thing is we're gonna set up, so we have a couple things that we want to set up in the future, which is a Patreon. We want to start up a Patreon account where we also offer some exclusive material, like more deeper dive into our finances, expenses, more deeper dive into maybe a Q&A. Maybe we can also help people travel, or people that are wanting to do this lifestyle. Maybe we can talk to them and have a little bit more of like a one-on-one. But we want to start a Patreon where we have more exclusive content there. And Patreon, if you don't know what a Patreon is, it's a site with a paywall behind it. So maybe it's like $5, $10, and you get access each month to exclusive content, so that you would normally not get on YouTube. And so if you were really into this, it would be really beneficial for you.
Yeah.
And there's a few people that we're patrons of, and we totally love being a part of that. So let's see what else we got on here.
Hey, Brian.
Is that BT? What's up, BT?
Mike says, okay, and eating. Videos eating. So yes to the food tastings in the van.
I think we got some ideas of how we're going to incorporate food with the van. So we have a few things that will pop up in the videos soon, and what we want to do with incorporating food, because we love food, and that's something that we want to do. But the food-centric ones, like we did in the past, like with the barbecue and stuff like that, just don't perform as well.
Yeah.
But we definitely still want to add them into the video as just like maybe a special feature or a little like cooking time and things like that, because we got some cool ideas.
Yeah.
And of course, you gotta eat.
Yeah.
You gotta eat.
Maybe we'll do like a day in the life, van life, something like that, and maybe we'll incorporate more food there. We did actually just buy this tripod that goes over a fire with a pot, so that's what we're really, really excited to use. Oh, Natalia. Hi, Natalia. Natalia is my old friend from like 3rd grade. Which is awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
and
cool.
It's super cool to see people that we've haven't talked to in the past in a really long time pop up and support us in this past month. I mean, in the past couple months, I mean, we've grown pretty fast. It's been awesome. And we just want to stay genuine, and we want to keep on posting. So we're going to try to keep on posting. And if the growth comes, that's amazing. Obviously, that helps us out a lot. Mm-hmm. The more we grow, the more we can put out, and further this journey. We got another question in here that I just saw, or try to get a guest appearance on a bigger channel, get that exposure. Definitely, we're working on so many different marketing type of things. I think, this focus still right now is growing, and I know getting guest appearances is very difficult as a smaller channel, but as we've grown, and I think we can use some of our, our relationships and stuff to maybe get those guest appearances coming soon. Mm-hmm. Other things in here. So if you guys have any more questions, if you don't have any more questions, then I think, this has been great. We're already at 42 minutes, which is longer than I thought we were going to be at. I realized telling Lisa's like, how long is it going to be? An hour? I was like, oh, we'll probably go 20 minutes. So we're already at 42 minutes. So it's been awesome. We've had a solid amount of people on here. We were just happy if we could get one person. If one person was on here, we're going to keep on talking. So it's been awesome. Oh, one more question. So have you guys been knocked on yet? No, and that's probably primarily because we haven't been doing any stealth type camping where we're not supposed to be really yet. On the East Coast, it was just the Rebel is eye-popping, right? It's hard to tell, or it's easy to tell that you're in this RV style van. So we haven't really ventured off in that way, and I don't know if it's going to happen on the East Coast or not, on the West Coast or not. But we're willing to take a little bit of risk. We'll see if we get knocked on. I mean, sometimes you just need to park places, but we haven't had any instance so far.
The only one thing I will say is that people do come up to you a lot. So even we were at a harvest host, and I was in the front seat on my phone or something, and a guy just knocked on the door, but it wasn't someone telling us to leave. He just wanted to talk about the van. So I think that attention is really, really weird at first, and just hard to get used to, because you pull in and everyone's just staring at you, and that feeling is just kind of weird. But then you realize people are just interested.
They're just curious.
Yeah, and they just want to talk about the van, and then you wind up meeting so many people. It winds up being so cool. So
Yeah, and there's a Facebook community for like the Revels as well, and it's like something that you can like totally like go into and ask questions and things. And you know, one of the weird things is like someone just asked questions like, is it weird if someone asks you like the price of your van? And like for us, it definitely at first like we just don't talk about money in that way, and so it can be difficult to talk to someone or tell them the price of the van. But as we've gone on, it's just like depending on where we're at too. I mean, you just don't know. But I tend to just be like, yeah, it's about this price. You know, if you bought this time, it was this price. Now it's crazy. And you know, most people are just curious and they want to have a chat. So, but we get a lot of every day. I mean, we probably have 3 or 4 people that stop us to want to talk, which is, you know, it's fun. Like it's pretty fun. But sometimes it's just like odd, like you'll come up to your car and someone's just standing there cross-eyed like, you know, what is this thing? And so, I mean, then you have a conversation.
Well, and coming off of a year of COVID, Ferris and I sat in my parents' basement for an entire year, and then going to like people just walking up to you was so weird.
So, another question we have is BT just said, how long do you all stay in each state? Can you hit more tourist spots? I want to travel more. Whoops, this question went away. Let me get it back up. Hold on, technical difficulties. I want to know. I want to travel more and know some good spots through you guys. Yes, so we stay on the East Coast. We definitely went through our states like faster. I mean, we had to be back home for a wedding. And we knew that going along. We went down for Lisa's parents' 40th anniversary, and that was at the middle of April, and we had to be back at the end of June. So, and also the states in the East Coast are pretty small, but we definitely, right now, we're going to stay in Colorado for about a month. That is our intention.
Yep.
And in the next few months, we do have weddings again, so we'll go back. But we want to stay in some, you know, stay longer. You know, like the month, 3 weeks to a month is like perfect, I think. We don't get too rushed. I think that is a good mix for us.
Yeah, we've never traveled slow either. Like even traveling internationally, I think we did one trip where we went to like 4 countries in a week, and it's because we were working at the same time, so we wanted to see as much as possible. So I think it's really weird for us to just like slow down and be like, this is our life now. I think we're still getting used to that.
Definitely. And to go to your question again, we will be doing a lot of like, not just van stuff, but we want to do van stuff where we're going. So like we'll be doing a lot of like national parks. We'll be doing a lot of like highlights of places, especially we'll be on the West Coast. It's going to all be in the West Coast now. But yeah, definitely stay tuned because we're going to have a lot of places that you can fly to easily. I mean, Colorado, we had to book flights from Denver to Detroit, and I know you're in that area. So this maybe will be, BT, you might actually be in Florida, but wherever you are, Spirit Airlines, our flights are super cheap. I mean,
they're like
we're getting
$70.
round trip flights. So getting out to Denver and to Colorado is a really easy trip, especially with Spirit. I mean, if you know, obviously, if you just have your backpack, it's super cheap. And you can get a lot done, and there's a lot of cool spaces or a lot of cool places in Colorado to get out in nature. Obviously, the beer scene there is amazing. Obviously, the smoking scene is also amazing there. But we have kids on this chat.
Yeah, what are you doing? We're not smokers. I don't know why I first said that.
Well, it's Colorado. All right, I think we are going to wrap up this. Unless anyone else has some more questions. I think we got to all of them. Yeah, it's legal. Exactly. So, I mean,
touche.
It's getting a little hot in here. It's hot. I think it's 80 degrees.
Well with the hot weather.
But thank you guys all for tuning in. We're gonna catch up. We're gonna be posting every Monday for sure, and then again sometimes on Thursdays. We're not going to be as dedicated on Thursdays, but still we'll be posting on Thursdays, dedicated on Mondays, and we'll see you guys soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.